Hello everybody! I totally didn't forget that it's Cyrano's birthday. I'm totally not Googling that right now to see what he likes. Oh no, okay. So, again, it's gonna be a lot of clothing. Oh jeez. Jeez, Rick. Got a thing from Blathers. In celebration of the completion of our museum's collection, I hope you'll accept this commemorative framed fossil poster. These are now available for purchase, so let me know if you'd like more. Alright, thanks man. Happy Home Academy, we got a few more points. From Ed, you know, it's a good way to get to know someone better. Send them a card like this. Let's see where to start. Maybe I should tell you something about me that you don't already know. Out of space. And that's what happens when you ramble, Ed. You run out of space. Alkia lied. There isn't an infinite amount of space. You've got a very finite amount on that card. I mean, you could just get more cards, but that kind of defeats the point of it. So, okay, first things first, let's just come look at my clothing here and see, like, if I have anything. Because, like, I might? He does, like, blue stuff. So, like, well, maybe... He likes the Explorer's shirt blue. This looks Explorer's shirt blue. And you know, I think that would look pretty good on him. So we're gonna take this out. We're gonna put that into storage. And there we go. We got him a gift. See it? I didn't forget. I had him a gift this whole time. I don't know why I blanked on his birthday. I'm also glad I recorded now instead of waiting to record. Because, daylight savings time is the thing that I always forget about. I'm gonna ramble here for a little bit, because it's, you know, it's nearly 11. It's 9, actually. Because I'm recording a day ahead, so, yeah. I will always dislike daylight savings time. And, like, there's no good reason for it. Like, I don't understand what people were even thinking. Hey, Steven, I was hoping I'd see you. It's the latest. Sometimes I get a craving for French toast and nothing. I mean, nothing else will do. Is this fair? Hello, Pinky. Oh, Steven! Hey there, my fabulous bestie. Wanna chat? Being outside when it's cloudy is actually kind of great. Feels too dark when I'm indoors. And that's fair. But like, the thing I'd always been told is we have daylight savings time to give farmers more daylight. Changing what time the clock says does not change how long the sun is up, and a farmer does not care about your clock. Like, a farmer is working from dawn till dusk, regardless. This ain't selling season. They don't need time to get to the markets. You know, they're good. Peanut, make yourself comfy, Hula. Let's chat. I read a magazine article full of suggestions for an ideal weekend. One of the suggestions was to try doing a weekend DIY project. Sounds like a great idea to me. It's very fair. And like any farmer that is selling things right now, they probably have somebody to go and sell that stuff for them. They're probably not a one-person operation, or they can afford to be away from their farm because they aren't a one-person operation. You know, it's never made sense to me, that argument of, well, they need to do it because this. It's like, they don't, though. I also shouldn't be picking things up yet. It occurred to me with the stick, and I pick up the rock too, because I want to buy turnips. But I want to give Serrano his gift. Whoops. I mean to bump the mic. Let's come, buy some wrapping paper. Let's see. We got gray and we got brown. Serrano likes browns, doesn't he? Well, beige or yellow. I do kind of want to poke the Able sisters really quick, just to see if they have anything else he might like, but we'll go brown here. Just need one. Nah, I'm good. My ears have been very itchy today. Okay. I mean, tomorrow, my brain will be better. It's just today with freaking daylight savings. I hate it. I think everybody hates it. I feel like as a society, we need to just agree that daylight savings is stupid and stop doing it. It does not serve a purpose. Let's just stop. Like, it's just annoying. Okay, let's come see who is Serrano's friend. Who likes cilantro in our town? Wait, no, I want to wrap that first. So before I do that, let's this is just faster than trying to cycle. Let's come to the Able sisters. They might have one of the things he likes, so it's worth coming to check. Oh, Yuka's in here. Yuka! Hi, Steven. What a delightful coincidence running into you here, darling. What's the latest? Are you here because you've developed an interest in fashion? If you want to develop your fashion sense, I recommend you try on as many clothing items as possible. You must expand your horizons, my dear. Now go on and grab some things and ask Mabel to let you try them on. And that is fair. Mabes does that all the time for me, though. So, I mean, I might need to go back to my own place. We gotta, like, just checking. Okay, so, I mean, the Explorer shirts, we've already got that, so... Maybe there's, like, a proper, just beige one? Because this looks kind of beige. I don't know. Let's see. I'm not really seeing anything in here. I mean, other than like the explorer's outfit. Maybe this, but no, this wouldn't. This isn't a cool item. He likes cool items. So yeah, don't think there's anything in here today, but might be something in here for me, so I may as well take a peek through. Maybe I could have a dog nose. I could swap over for some loafers. I'm not really a big fan of wearing loafers. I like kind of how they look, I just don't like wearing them. Nah, I'm good. Yeah, nothing really caught my eye. Sabes! Came all this way in the rain just to see us? You're the sweetest. Aww. Wait, it's raining? Wasn't raining when I came in. Oh no. Yep, it's raining now. I missed the fog already. Let's get my ghost out. Frisk is doing some zoomies. She does this from time to time. Still don't know what she wanted yesterday. Ah, Ed's his friend. Good. Oh, Steven, you came to my birthday party. Sure appreciate you being here. I forgot to wrap his thing. Let me do that really quick. I just ignore what I'm doing. You don't see anything. Hey Ed. Let's look at the smile on Serrano's face. This would be a great time for him to get some professional headshots done. It'd also be a great time for you to just let him be happy. Parties like this with all my good pals sure makes an old anteater feel appreciated. That's to say nothing of the gifts. Say, you bring me something too? Sure did. Here you go, my man. Hope you like it. Sorry if I came off sound pushy. I'm gonna say I opened this one up. Explorer shirt. It's a quality product. You've got good taste. Sure, I'm grateful for your gift. I know how miserable shopping can be. Thanks, kiddo. You're welcome, man. We're not that close to Serrano, so I kind of just want to give him his gift and dip, but I'll talk to him a couple times. Having fun, Steven? Oh yeah, watch me go. Kind of embarrassing to have folks making a fuss over me, though. I have to admit, it gets to me. I feel that. Guess I got an excuse to cut loose. That's if I can remember how. Man, Serrano, maybe we need to be friends. Better friends, anyway, because, man, you are speaking my language. I am gonna get going, though. Nah, you're the best, my man. Like, I'm very much the type where I don't, like, I appreciate it when people, like, take the time out of their day, like, on my birthday, to, like, wish me a happy birthday and stuff, and, like, do stuff for me, but at the same time, I always feel embarrassed, because I'm like, man, you could be, like, you know, you don't need to be focusing on me, you know? And then the whole, like, cutting loose, like, when I was younger, I sure knew how to, like, just let myself go and have fun, but, like, these days, I'm not sure I know how anymore. Like, sure, I can be silly from time to time, but, like, I don't know if I could, like, truly cut loose without just feeling embarrassed, so. Alright, we need to find Daisy May. I hope she's even here, because of... Okay, there she is. Morning. Alright. 110 bells apiece. Oof. Well, I'll buy some. Because I can afford 1,200 now. Yep, I'll buy them. Now, I think I want to go for... How many do I want to buy? That is the question. Because, like... See you, money spot. I could go for 24. I'll see how much space is taken up by this many turnips in the upper floor, and I'll go from there. That's what I'll do. It makes the most sense to me to do it that way. I also need to clear out this path. One thing with my flower paths, and it's something that, like, I mostly do so I can change my mind on where they go if I really want to. I'll not clear flowers out of them for, like, until they really start clogging up, just so I'm like, well, maybe I don't want it exactly right here, and, like, having the flowers build up gives me an easier way of moving things, so... I don't know if I'm in this right... Okay, no, I am in the right spot to put all these down. Okay, so I could easily fit a lot more turnips up here. I know how many more I want. Y'all will see. This could be a very bad idea, especially with how much we're paying for turnips. And, like, we didn't exactly have the best prices last week, so I'm hoping that this week we'll just have better prices, is what I'm doing. Yeah, I'm trying to think of, like, things to ramble about. I've been back watching, well, rewatching a Star Trek YouTuber cover the Dominion War arc from Deep Space Nine. It's like, I could ramble about that, but, like, I kind of don't want to. Just because I'm, like, I know I'm weird with this, but, like, I honestly feel like that's something people should watch themselves. Like, DS9 kind of thing, because it's a good series. So, like, I don't want to be like, here is literally everything you would need to know about the series. You know. I mean, there's definitely little tidbits I can make mention of. Like, I think I've talked about this before, but, like, during the Deep Space Nine arc for the Dominion War, the Federation is very, very, very hesitant to put ships at Deep Space Nine. And my theory as to why they're like that... No, I haven't changed my mind. I just... How do I not have the space? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I will have the space. But, like, my theory is for why they basically don't... They're very hesitant and don't want to put ships at Deep Space Nine is that is effectively the border between Federation and Dominion space. Well, there's a funny thing that happens in the real world. So, and yeah, I know I've talked about this before. So, when a country deploys its army along a border, another country basically has to deploy their army defensively along that same border, because if they don't, mobilizing an army takes forever, and it's basically a provocative act. Like, you don't do that if you're looking for peace. Somebody should really tell people these days that. You know, you don't deploy your army if you're looking to be peaceful. I don't have room for as many turnips as I was gonna buy. Well, no, I do still have the room. But yeah, like, so that's basically why the Federation wouldn't have deployed their fleet, because doing so would have forced the Dominion to escalate. Like, the Federation going into the Dominion War was coming out of their golden age. Or another way to put it is their age of pacifism. The age where the Federation would allow you to basically break their arm if it meant that you wouldn't go to war with them. You know, the Federation would capitulate on things that they really shouldn't have if it meant not going to war. Even with powers they could have easily dealt with. Like the Cardassian border wars. The Federation could have easily easily beaten the Cardassians back and forced them to capitulate to the Federation. But instead, the Federation basically fought them with one arm tied behind their back, and then basically just sat back and allowed the Cardassians to subjugate the Bajorans. Like, they just kind of allowed the Cardassians to do that, because to do otherwise would have meant going to war with Cardassia. Ultimately, Cardassians joined the Dominion later on. The Federation are at war with them anyway. Meanwhile, had the Federation stepped in at many of the times they could have done that, the Cardassians probably would have been part of the Federation. To whoever's into strange bottles. I was messing around with the old tool bench and I came up with this DIY idea that you're holding right now. My great idea is in this bottle here. Take a chance on it. You'll see. Try it out. You won't be sorry. Wishing you luck, Frank. It's a sleigh. Alright. Can't see old Major Frank giving a design for a sleigh. But, you know. Maybe he changed a little in his old age. I don't remember if we've talked with Diva yet. I think we have, though. But, yeah, like, the Federation, for all their talk of basically being the good guys, and all the fan bases talk of the Federation are the good guys, the Federation have really dropped the ball a lot of the time in their attempt to be what they consider to be moral. There we go. Turnips. Hopefully, I don't get completely screwed by that financial decision. I just spent a lot of bells on those. And, like, I don't say that to basically, like, crap on the Federation or be edgy for edgy's sake, but, like, it's just more or less stating facts. The Federation have made a lot of mistakes that led to a lot of their problems. Like, even when it comes to dealing with the Dominion, the Federation made a lot of mistakes. Like, basically, before the Dominion War even started, the Federation had decided, we're going to explore the Gamma Quadrant, and it doesn't matter that the Dominion are claiming ownership of this entire quadrant, we're going to do it anyway, because it's not like they can stop us. Like, imagine that one for a moment. Let's say, you know, I decide, you know, to run for Prime Ministership of Canada. Never gonna happen. But let's hypothetically, let's say I do that. I become Prime Minister. I then decide, you know what? I'm gonna start sending people to explore, quote unquote, Russia. You think the Russians are gonna take too kindly to that one? You think they're gonna take kindly to me being like, well, what are you gonna do? You can't stop me. We have a right to explore. We're in this planet too. Like, that was effectively the Federation's mindset. You know, even if we're sending people to the uninhabited parts of, you know, Russia, and I'm using Russia because it is such a large, mostly uninhabited block of land. Like, you know, I would still be sending people into another country's sovereign territory. And then claiming I'm exploring, and then on top of that, I start telling people to start setting up little encampments, little villages, like start colonizing the place. There's no one living right there. You may as well. I mean, the Russians, they'd already be living there. I mean, come on. Like, that is quite literally what the Federation was doing. And then when they were told no by the Dominion, albeit very forcefully, but they were told no by the Dominion coming along and destroying these colonies, then sending a messenger alongside some armed guards to Deep Space Nine, the basically border outpost, to tell the Federation and Alpha and Beta Quadrant powers that, no, this is our space, you are to stay out. They were met by, you know, the Federation balking at that, just be like, you can't make us stay out. Yet, we're supposed to see the Dominion as the bad guys from the very beginning, and you just kind of can't. Because the Federation were the aggressors. Now, were the Dominion evil? Yeah. Yeah, they were. But from a pure, pragmatic, looking at events as they happen standpoint, the Federation started the war. The Federation were the aggressive ones. The Federation caused all of these problems. And, like, when you look at the timeline for the Star Trek shows, you have to know that the Federation understands that they should at least stay out of Dominion space by the way that... Let me just get... Because I literally sent the timeline to somebody. By Season 3 of Deep Space Nine is the beginning of the... It's the beginning of Voyager. The wormhole is known of by them. They know where it goes. They're just busy dealing with other things at that point in time. The Dominion War arc doesn't happen for a little later than that. I think it starts around Season 4-ish of DS9. I don't remember exactly, but it's at least when the war really kicks off. So, like, that's what you're looking at. So Voyager knows that's there. Voyager could have just gone to the Gamma Quadrant to get back, because they ended up being thrown into the Delta Quadrant. Steven, how are things, Snorty? You want to chat? Really love the way the air smells after it rains, Snorty. I do too. I actually, though, I say that, I think I prefer how it smells just before it rains. Though after it rains is also pretty nice. I just don't like getting wet, so I don't much care for the rain itself, but I do like the smells that it brings. We have already talked with Yuka. Okay, I've got all my fossils, so... We've already been to the Able Sisters. So, like, the Federation clearly understood that the Gamma Quadrant... Not a good way of getting back home. Even though it would have made the trip for Voyager a lot faster. And if Voyager had, you know, still acquired a fair few of the upgrades they acquired in the early seasons and then made it back home, then the Federation would have probably had a much easier time dealing with the Dominion. Much, much easier time. Blade of Armor is pretty cool that way. Honestly, like, this is more like an issue I have with Star Trek as an EVE Online player. Hey, sorry about the mess. I ain't got time to clean today. What you doing? I'm making a wooden chest. Well, the bugs on my floor whispered the DIY instructions in my ear while I was sleeping last night. So I gotta build it before I forget what it even is. What? You already know how to make a wooden chest? Sure do. That's real cool. You're always on top of things. I'm usually stuck under them. I want to tell everybody about the wooden chest, so I scribbled down the recipe. Alright, man. So, in the Star Trek universe, like, there really isn't armoring on ships, which makes no sense. You're in space. A ship being heavy doesn't matter. You're building it in space. You might start the construction on the ground, but it's finished in space. That's how all of their ships work. They're built in space docks. Let's talk with Diva. I don't remember if we talked to her yet today. These streets are about to be flooded with awesomeness. Let's talk. I love that there's just a garbage bin here. That kind of stuff makes Astera feel like home. That's fair. It's also pretty nice to have the garbage bin, so everyone puts their garbage when the KK concert's done. So, that basically means that the moment a ship's shields are down, the explodium starts going off all around the ships, and they end up getting massively just destroyed. Because there really isn't armoring. The armor between the outside and inside of the ship is basically as thick as the walls between rooms, which isn't very thick. I also need to get these fossils identified first, because they still sell for more if they're identified, even though we've got them all now. I could just sell them, but we did just make a pretty bad financial decision, probably, so, But then meanwhile, in, EVE Online, you have some ships that once their shield is down, they're screwed. That's just the nature of those factions. You also have ships that... that reminds me. I sent you something in the mail. Did you happen to see it? It was a poster commemorating the completion of our prestigious fossil collection. Wanted to make something to show my gratitude to all who pitched in to grow this museum. Oh, and these posters will be available for purchase. Should that interest you, just let me know. Alright, man. Thanks. But, there's other factions that really focus on armor and don't really care about their shields. They have them, because it's better to have them than not, but they don't care if they stay up, because they just have armor. Their ships can take a beating because they just have armor. A good example would be, the Amarian logistics cruiser, the Guardian. It is standard practice to add on a 1600mm armor plate to that ship, basically. Just to give it more bulk HP to take hits with. Because EVE Online is still an MMO and it's not reality, this somehow takes up fitting space on the ship, even though you wouldn't think so. You just bolt it to the outside. But, whatever. In reality, you could just bolt that on. You're in space. It doesn't really matter. I could see it maybe mattering for inertia. So you wouldn't want to add too much armor, because then the inertia would make it harder for your engines to do what they need to do. That does make some level of sense. And you do see that in EVE Online. Adding an armor plate makes your inertia worse. It adds to your mass, which makes it harder to slow down after you've sped up. Which is fair. That's what should happen. But, I don't know why they can't do that in, Star Trek. I guess it would just make too much sense. Especially where shield technology doesn't seem to be able to keep up with weapon technology. So, as an example, a Dominion battleship can have its shields knocked out pretty reliably and quickly by a Defiant. The Defiant is a pretty powerful ship, but also, it's a very small ship. It's much smaller than that Dominion battleship. And yet, it can have its shields knocked out in no time by the Defiant. Or a Defiant-class ship. So, at that point, why would you even bother with the shields? If they're being able to be knocked out that easily. And the vice versa goes. The Defiance shields would get knocked out basically just as fast by this battleship. So why are you even bothering? And throughout the Dominion War arc, admittedly, they do start putting ablative armor onto their ships because, well, there's no point in trying to bother with putting, you know, with shields when they just get knocked down. Like, they just get knocked out way too easily. They still don't put enough armor on things, but, you know. But, like, it's also another thing that EVE Online does that I really wish Star Trek fans would understand. I just thought of. So, in Star Trek, they use, during the Dominion War arc, peregrine fighters. Effectively, the same sort of cannons that are fitted to the Defiant, but fitted to a small, like, 2 to 5 person craft that can fly around. It's really small, pretty fast, can be launched from other ships, and basically gives them more firepower. Well, the argument that people make is that, well, those don't make sense in the Star Trek universe because tracking computers. It's like, well, yeah, EVE Online has tracking computers too. We have tracking computers in real life. Doesn't mean maneuvering isn't still a good thing. Doesn't mean being a small target isn't a good thing. Like, even the best targeting computer cannot keep up with a small, fast object. Especially if that small, fast object is moving in unpredictable ways. Like, and you see that during the Dominion War arc, that peregrine fighters are being used because while a few of them might get shot and blown up, they can avoid a lot of incoming fire. Like, they survive by just not being shot. Which, fun fact, is something that a lot of tank design went to in reality. Survive by just not being shot. I mean, to be fair, that was always part of the survivability onion, was basically don't get seen in the first place, thus don't get shot. You know, if you are seen, get out of there kind of thing. Because armor is a last resort. In space, you wouldn't as easily be able to do that, so armor would matter there. But, like, drones or fighters are really nice and convenient because they do give you more firepower. You can basically slap one of your big capital ship's weapons onto one of these fighters, and even though it may not have, you know, warp capability, it may not, you know, have much in the way of armor or shielding ability, it's still another really big gun that you can just fire. Which is pretty nice. Like, it basically increases the combat effectiveness of your, you know, your capital ships to give them fighters. And because of the nature of fighters having small crews, losing one, while it would still hurt, doesn't hurt anywhere near as much as losing a capital ship. Or even just losing another ship, kind of thing. Like, to put it in Star Trek comparisons, a peregrine fighter has as much, if not more, firepower than a Miranda class. The Miranda class has a crew of, I think, like 80 to 120. A peregrine fighter is 2 to 5. I know which I would rather lose if I have to lose one of them. You know. And also, to make that peregrine fighter, you could, you know, well, for the materials needed, you could probably make a good, you know, 20 to 50 peregrine fighters, or your one Miranda class. You know, the only thing that wouldn't be a one-to-one able to do that with would be the weapons, you know, because the Miranda doesn't have that many weapons. But, you know, it's just one of those things of it makes sense to make them, yet there's so many Star Trek fans that are like, no, it doesn't make sense. It's stupid. It's dumb because the targeting computers. It's like, well, never knew targeting computers were perfect. If they are, then you really need to have a look-see at a lot of fights from Star Trek where ships are very obviously missing each other, even though they're basically sitting just still, you know. And it's like, oh, but they can target specific systems with their targeting computer, so it's obviously really good. It's like, well, who's to say that it's actually the computer properly targeting those spots? I say this because when just locked onto a ship, the shots seem to go just about anywhere. And there's always somebody manning that tactical station. So, could it maybe be that the targeting computer itself just targets the ship, fires at central mass, and then the gunnery officer running the tactical station needs to manually aim it when it comes to targeting a subsystem? That would make the most sense. Seems to be how it works. Or else they would be able to basically do everything from the command position and you wouldn't need somebody manning gunnery. You would just tell the computer, lock on to this subsystem. And it would just do it. And even that wording, like, it's basically a case of, just because it says lock on does not mean it's actually the computer doing the work. You know, like, that wording works in the case of, I am locked on to this fish. It just means I'm targeting it. I'm, you know, not gonna let it get away from me. My fish. My sea bass. Ooh, not a sea bass. Caught a tuna. It's a little off key. We got a new donation. Yeah. But, like, so, there's just so much about it. And, like, we don't know exactly how this stuff would work because we're not in that universe. Kind of wish we were. There's a lot of really cool technology in the Star Trek universe that I would love to have. Like, man, can you imagine? Like, I'm not even going, like, holodeck. Can you imagine just having a replicator? That'd be so freaking convenient. You would never have to buy anything ever again, really. There'd be some things you would have to, but those would just be things that you can't easily replicate. And even then, with enough know-how, you could, in theory, make anything. Like, the thing my brain went to was, well, you'd still have to buy, like, a graphics card or something if, you know, gaming on computers was still a thing. Well, if you had the know-how to do it, you could just replicate the components of a graphics card and build it yourself. Because you could just make the components. Could probably even replicate the GPU die, you just wouldn't be able to replicate the entire thing all in one go, probably. So, like, that would just be amazing. And, like, the only thing that really limits a replicator is just the fact that, like, replicators aren't magic. They don't, like, they basically make things by consuming matter. So effectively what they do is you give them a source of matter, like let's say, you know, big old pile of grass. you can then turn that big old pile of grass into, you know, a brick or a phone or anything, as long as it has the same amount of matter to it. So, like, basically, they just have big old matter reserves where they keep everything as particles, and then you can then go from there to make whatever you might want to make. It's sci-fi, yeah. But I could see things working like that. Mostly just down to, I mean, what is anything but a collection of matter? So if you had a bunch of matter that you could then basically break apart and turn into anything you might want, you know, turn it into its base matter components, but hold it in like a special buffer or something, you could then just bring it out. Like, you could just have it construct whatever you're looking for. Which would be kind of neat. And we do got a fish to donate, so time for me to be Irish again. At least try to be. Ooh-hoo! Oh dear, pardon me. Do have a look around, no rush, take your time. Ah, but first, how may I assist you? I have a donation. Marvelous, what would you like to donate? Tuna. It's in that little bag somehow. Hooty-hoo, this must be a tuna. Now my turn, just you in a few fascinating facts about your tuna. Yes, please. Wonderful, I'd love nothing more. The tuna is a large ocean fish that can reach upwards of 9 feet long. Besides its great size, it's notable for continuing to swim even when sleeping. Well, to be fair, if it doesn't keep swimming, it won't be able to breathe, and of course would die. But sleep should be restful, eh, what? If I were a tuna, I would feel very hard done by. And there you have it. Fascinating stuff, no? Rest assured, all donations are displayed in a timely manner. Yeah, I mean, that's just kind of the thing with having to breathe by filtering the water and filtering the oxygen out of it. You kind of have to keep moving. Especially when you're that big and you need a lot. A smaller fish could actually stop and sleep, no problem, because the water currents moving would almost certainly bring it enough oxygen to keep going. But a larger fish needs to keep moving even while sleeping, or else it would run out of oxygen. Because even though they live in water, fish require oxygen. Alright, on to sell. I do kind of apologize that I'm going on this long, like, ramble about, like, sci-fi stuff. I just like it. Which I know is something that I've had, someone in the past be like, man, like, you like sci-fi, you like fantasy. Why is that your biggest complaint about Star Ocean 3 is that it's too sci-fi? It's like, well, because I expect more fantasy than sci-fi out of Star Ocean? Maybe that's why? But yeah, I need to take a seat somewhere and then get this episode ended off. Because, like, I like sitting here. It's a really nice little stump. I have been going for a while. I'm also mildly tired. I'm not gonna, like, sleep, but I need to, like, try to wake up before stream for yesterday for you guys to today for me. So, with that, I thank you all very much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you back here tomorrow for more Animal Crossing New Horizons. See you all then. And here in this end card, I'd like to ask if you liked the video, hey, could you hit the like button? And if you're not subscribed, could you maybe subscribe? I'm trying to get to 700 subs, and you could help out a lot. Thanks a bunch.